Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium on the 17th of January, February, March, April, May 2023. Today we're going to talk about a few things, but before we do, I just want to talk about an article that I saw. There was an article that was published on Forbes, I think it was Forbes magazine, and they're talking about some legislation that's going to be introduced, and this legislation will severely hamper the crypto space. And so I'm actually really interested in hearing what happens, and I'm also quite anxious, slightly excited, and also nervous about what that's going to do to the crypto space as a whole, because it looks as if some serious legislation is going to come in and kind of shake things up a little bit. So that's rather unfortunate, but at the same time, it will likely cause the market to split, where you have the people who are going to continue to use crypto no matter what kind of legislation is in place, and those who comply and play by the rules and tell the tax authorities how much crypto they have and whatnot. I'm not exactly sure how it'll play out, but it's really interesting to see. But I think a time will come in the not so distant future where we will reach a fork in the road where you'll have to choose sides. And I think some people will choose to play by the book, and others will say, I'm not going to play by the book. I'm not going to give in to the pushing by my government, and they're going to continue to pile up their rather accumulate their wealth in crypto assets. So it's a really interesting. And of course, there's going to be people who play both sides, and they use this new central bank digital currency to pay bills and taxes and whatever, and then they have like this parallel economy that they operate within, and then they buy and sell goods and services via that. So it'll be actually really interesting to see how that unfolds. There's a lot of talk now about this new bill that was recently passed in the U.S. and one that was currently being discussed in the House about Border Patrol officers, and how the bill was passed in order to stop people from illegal immigrants from coming into the U.S. and protecting the Americans. But if you read the fine print, you can really see that, as a matter of fact, there's a lot more power that's being granted the Border Patrol, and it's quite worrying actually, because you can see this huge power grab that's going on, and it's happening very, very quickly. And so all these new rules and regulations are being passed, and the headlines are all quite agreeable. I think that most of the stuff that they want to do is interesting, but then there are these super sneaky rules and regulations that they bury at the bottom of the bill that they don't really want people to see, and this is the stuff that gets quite dangerous. So yeah, very interesting time to be alive, I think. But I just want to talk very quickly about the update that I'm working on for the buy and sell zone algo. I've been fighting for about 4 days on trying to identify a bug in the software in this new version that I'm writing, and I found it today, and I'm really happy, because it was a bit of a blow, but that's all right. It's the life of a software dev. It's bug hunting. But essentially what was happening, what I wanted to do, the whole purpose of creating this build is, when we have a pattern that forms like this, I want to buy into the completion of a pattern. So when I can see that we have an area of supply that's formed, okay, the software operates in 3 modes. Mode number 1 is that it opens a pending sell limit here. Okay, so your entry would go here, your stop is there, and your target is down there. That's mode 1. Then we have mode 2, and mode 2 is different because it tells the software to open the position at market once the pattern is completed. Okay, so in this situation, it would essentially mean that we sell at market once this candle closes. Okay, because the candle pattern now is telling the software, the configuration is telling the software when this candle closes, sell at market. Okay, so we'd have been a little bit in profit. Now we're kind of sitting on there, kind of waiting to see what happens. Then there's the third mode, which is the one that it's currently operating in, and that is, when we have a pattern that's complete, like this one here, that instead of selling, we buy. We take on a contrarian position and expect the price to do something like this. Okay, where we take on a contrarian position here, our stop is here, our target is here, and just waiting for that gap, this gap here, to close. Okay, so this is the one that was giving me a bunch of stick, and the one that I managed to resolve today. So that's super exciting. So now it's running. It's running on a 30-minute chart. Need that sample size, so I can let it run for a few hundred trades. But on the 30-minute chart, that should happen in a couple of weeks, so or maybe even less. So that's really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to assessing that, to see how that goes. But I just have this strong belief that when you have these patterns, when they occur, when you create a price imbalance like this, I mean, the natural thing for prices to do is to move in the direction of the thinnest liquidity, and that would essentially be to rebalance this price imbalance. Okay, so that's the whole logic behind mode number 3 that I'm just testing now before I release it into the buy and sell zone user base. Yeah, but that's that. But I hope you guys have been updated the software here, the supply and demand software. I really like that it's showing you now which area has been used to qualify an area of supply and demand. So we have this one here, super tiny one, little one up here. You know, prices come down and then prices move below. Okay, so this is all the distribution. This is a candle that closes below here. So this is where we can expect prices to come to in the future. We have this here. We have the red candle just here. This candle closes up here, so we can expect prices to react there, which they didn't. It doesn't always happen. Then we have this one here. Prices came down here. We expect prices to react here, which it did. The same thing here. It reacted nicely. Yeah, so super interesting, and you can also use it to you can really scrutinize these levels where you can get maybe even slightly silly and say, well, I want areas of supply and demand to be qualified that have, I mean, a huge respect. So let's say, 30 pairs of respect. That's a lot. So I don't even know how many we're going to get. And if we look at here, we'll probably get a couple, if that. No, there's none. Oh, there's one there. See, one there. So this one here, price came back to it and cut through it. Okay, here we have a couple more. You got this one here. Price tested it, we left. We had this one here, price left, we tested it, and now we moved away. So you can really get fancy here. But what I need to do is I need to run this, put it in the back tester and run it, and so we get like this nice optimal combination of parameters. And I'm yet to do that, so I'll do that, and then we can. And then we'll have a little bit of data that we can pay attention to and relate to. So that's what I'm currently doing. So, very good. But I'm pleased that everything is working well. But another thing that I've noticed in buy and sell zones is I've introduced a setting. It's always been in there, but I've just kind of roped it in a little bit. Where the conditions? Where's the conditions? Yeah, that's the wrong one. It's not that. Here, conditions here. So I have max spread is set to 1.5 pips because I had a position earlier today on the 1-minute chart just testing, and the spread was so huge that I think it was 5 pips, and on the 1-minute chart, I mean that could put your position at a disadvantage, and it could threaten your stop because you just simply spread it out. And so those spreads, those max spreads, that has to be really low. Maximum 2, ideally 0.5, so 5 points or half a pip. I think that is maybe the best solution. But yeah, as we have more data, we'll be able to draw more conclusions, and we'll be able to say what is the best configuration here. Sorry for the noise in the background. We're having an extension done on our roof. We had to install this water filtration system that filters the water from our well, and there's a lot of computers and stuff in there, so we've got to cover it up a little bit, so they're just doing it in the background. So we've got workers here. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Just a quick update. I shan't drag it out, but I hope this finds you well. If you have any questions about anything I've said today, please let me know, and thanks for watching.